Styx here, the Token Minorities, bringing you another ORAS episode of Styx versus the top of the ladder, and today I finally have my favorite tier, a UU match, although you really couldn't tell by the dual Salamances out there, I guess. But anyway, with the recent drops, Mega Pinsir and Terrakion were in UU for, actually, a little too long. Mega Pinsir was only there for a night, and you can bet that I abused the ever-living crap out of that. But anyway, Terrakion and Pinsir did both get banned, however Salamence is still down there, and I'm using that, and I'm bringing back a version of my Dual Dragons team. Actually, it's not really a version, it's just a completely new team. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the battle. He leads with his Suicune, and I actually right here led with my Sceptile. Don't think that I was predicting the Suicune, I was actually predicting the Crocodile, but hey, this works too. And I'm seeing that nothing on his team really wants to take a Leaf Storm. I mean, even Doublade will take a very nice chunk from it, and Salamence won't want to predict the potential Dragon Pulse, so I'm going to go for that. It does a very, very good chunk to the Doublade, meaning that I can just keep firing that off and it'll hurt. But, unfortunately, he Pursuit Traps me, and that's not good. So, yeah, Sceptile kind of loses almost half its health. But I am noticing that he has no means of hazard control, so if I get Toxic Spikes up, that is fantastic for Suicune, Entei, Heracross, and Crocodile. Heracross could be a little problematic if it gets Guts, but whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And I go for the Toxic Spike right there as he brings Suicune back in, and this was kind of a risky play because I wasn't sure what type of Suicune this was. It might have been like an anti-lead or something like that, but I decided to go back into my Sceptile, risk the burn on Scald, and I'm just going to fire off another Leaf Storm, as I guess he predicts me to predict the switch into Doublade, but I really had no reason to, as Sceptile could take another Pursuit, and Doublade would be so low that really any attack would kill it. His Heracross comes in right here, and this is going to hurt quite a bit, as I'm going to go into my Salamence as I resist Dual Stab and Mega Horn, and I'm immune to Earthquake, and I thought that did I just say resist? Because you didn't really resist that, and this is even a bulky Salamence with, I believe, almost max HP investment. So yeah, I'm not going to want to take another hit from that, so I'm just going to go right into my Tentacruel and fire off a Scald on something, I don't really care what, as that will not be a 2-hit KO, so that's really nice for me, as I will be able to knock out this Heracross with a Scald if I choose to go for it, as Heracross is at half its special defense right here, and nothing on his team will really appreciate a Scald, so I'm just going to go for that right now as Doublade does come in, and Doublade's defense, even with Eviolite, is still kind of piss poor. So Scald is going to 2-hit KO Doublade from this range, and right here I really wanted to go into my Hippowdon to predicting the Shadow Sneak and then get up my Rocks, which would hinder him a lot, but I made a dumb play of just deciding to stay in and Scald, and maybe his Doublade would have outsped me in Toxic, and I really didn't want that on my Hippowdon at all, as Tentacruel's getting up back nicely, as Crocodile does come in. And I know that a knockoff is probably coming my way, but I don't want to risk the Earthquake, as Tentacruel still has a little bit of utility, so I'm just going to go into my Salamence right here, get off the Intimidate on the Crocodile, as the knockoff does not quite KO, but it does a good enough chunk to where it's not really worth saving Salamence, so I'm just going to fire off a Dragon Claw right here, as it does a good chunk. It won't do too much, as he sets up his Rocks. Now that is really annoying, because I didn't see Lefty, so I was not predicting a Rocks Crocodile, but at this point I know that I'm definitely going to need Sacks later, especially for that Heracross, so I decide to save my Salamence and go into my Hippowdon, as I will lose my Lefties, but that's not that big of a deal, as I will be able to get my Rocks up, which will be fantastic for his own Salamence and his Entei, and even his Heracross to an extent, as Crocodile is low enough to where it's not that much of a problem anymore. So I am just going to go for my Stealth Rocks right here, as he brings in his Salamence, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a very bad situation for me, because now his Salamence can set up on my Hippowdon, as I did have Ice Fang, but I changed it to Rock Slide. I'm not sure why. Oh, right, the save didn't... I switched it to Ice Fang because Mega Pinsir left, but unfortunately Showdown's been doing this thing where it hasn't been saving my moves. So, Rock Slide, go for that right there as he gets one Dragon Dance up, and I am shocked that he did not go for two, as I just go for a second Rock Slide. It does minimal damage to this Mence, as unfortunately my Hippowdon will be KO'd by this next Outrage. I don't want anything else on my team to die, and I figured that Hippo at this range of HP was the most useless, So his Salamence is sitting at +1/+1 as he gets confused and my Sandstorm subsides. Unfortunately, he has a Lumberry as I go into my Infernape, who is Scarfed. Yes, I still have Scarf Infernape, and I'm now running HP Ice because of Salamence. That is the entire reason I am running HP Ice, and it finally pays off for me right there. Fun fact, that was actually the first time I was able to use Hidden Power Ice Infernape on a Salamence. So Heracross comes right back in, and I decide to sack my Ments. No real reason to try to save it. It's not going to be doing much for me at all, especially with those rocks up, and Tentacruel really can't spin at all. And so yeah, just get a turn of poison on the Heracross, and unfortunately I forgot that I had intimidated the Heracross earlier, and that's why Tentacruel was able to take the close combat so well. And I thought that I could go ahead and come in and spin the rocks. I was really, really wrong, as Tentacruel just kind of gets blown back by that, and I sacked my Tentacruel for no reason, which leaves me a little weaker to Entei. Yay! But anyway, I'm just going to send Infernape in right here to KO the Heracross, and nothing on his team wants to switch in at all. Crocodile will die, Entei will have to take rocks and get poisoned, but right here he is going to go into his Entei, who is a gigantic threat despite the rocks and Toxic Spikes, so I am just going to go ahead and sack my Sceptile right here, because that will give me a free switch into Crocodile, who will be able to fire off an Earthquake and kill something. Doesn't really matter what at this point. As Sceptile does go down to that E-Speed, and I'm going to bring in my Crook like I said, and just fire off a Choice Banded Earthquake. And I actually am really glad that I decided to keep Intimidate on this Crocodile, because despite the fact that it is Choice Banded, Intimidate has come in handy so many times, especially pivoting with Mega Swampert and everything. That thing really needs to go. It's way too good for UU. But anyway, Crocodile comes in and just dies. Well, his Crocodile anyway. Mine's still sitting pretty. Even though it's -1 attack, it will still do more than enough to this Entei. And right here, I really should have switched out into my Infernape, sacking it, because I know Enteis have to be adamant if they're running the extreme speed. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, because that would actually be really fun to run. But anyway, the extreme speed, even with a crit, wouldn't have KO'd me, but still I shouldn't have risked it. Should have just gone to my Infernape and sacked it and brought back Crook in. But either way, Crocodile lives, and that will be the game. Looking at that guy's rating, he was at 1615, and if we just jump on over to the showdown, we will see that 1615 was, yeah, depending on alphabetical, whatever, he would have been number 25 or 26. But yeah, that's the game, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.